I lived selfishly for a long time. You know, because doing drugs, you hiding and you lying a lot. Like me losing my son is something that I still don't even know if I've even cried over. There's no doubt in my mind I'll probably be with her now, but I was just like my soul was shocked. I didn't even know how I got there.
Thanks for watching Profile. I'm Ashley Ford, and I'm joined by former NBA player Lamar Odom. His new memoir, Darkness to Light, is out right now. Lamar, thank you so much for being here.
No problem, thank you.
What's it like reliving memories for a book?
Well, for me, the process was extremely therapeutic. I've been through a lot of trauma in my life. A lot as a kid, and as an adult, that I don't really think I'm properly healed from it. And I think this book was me taking steps to healing fully.
Yeah. It's sort of like controlling your own narrative, right? Like it's like getting the chance to reintroduce yourself to people, not just with like anything that they've heard about you, but it's like, this is my perspective.
Yeah.
I want here's a full story.
Yeah, a lot of it too, especially with the drug use. A lot has been made of it, you know, even before the book. So what I wanted to do with the book was, you know, take the power, you know, away from people and just tell them my experience with drugs.
And you wrote about everything. Like one of the things about this book is that you don't hold back. You write about having sex with 2,000 women, how far you went to pass a drug test.
Sex with 2,000 women, that's a little narcissistic.
Yeah.
I mean, it was way too many. I mean, especially when you married, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At the time.
What moment?
That's not something I'm proud of.
Is there a moment, I mean, and you write about it that way. You don't write about it in a way that's like arrogant or braggadocious. You write about it in a way that says, this is what's happened. It's reality. Yeah. It's not trying to paint it in a certain light. Yeah. But are there things then that like the one moment that you're like, if I could do that over, I would do that over?
As far as in life or?
Yeah, in life, I mean.
I would never cheat on my wife. Yeah, that haunts me every day.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you guys talked about it? I mean, I know that you guys have remained friends.
Yeah, we haven't talked about it. But it's funny because she texted me, I think it was yesterday. She texted me, laugh out loud. I didn't know that you remembered that story. And the story she's talking about is when she comes to the hotel and finds two women and, you know, puts her hands on one of them. Yeah.
And she thought you didn't even remember that.
Yeah.
Wow. Do you guys, when you have conversations or like because I know like it's probably different and hard now, obviously, in the aftermath, but when you have those interactions with her, do you find Khloé to be understanding and to still be supportive and on your side?
Yeah, I mean, she was my angel for more than one reason. You know, when I woke up out the coma, she would, my memory was terrible and I couldn't walk or talk.
Wow.
And just her spirit always being there, her bringing pictures of my mother and my grandmother just to help me get my memory back. You know, helping set up the phys ed so I can learn how to walk again. You know, she's a trooper.
She seems like it.
Yeah.
One of the things that you write about in the book, and I want to reiterate this because, you know, you're talking a little bit of like, you're not bragging it. You're not. Like this book, the things you talk about, nothing comes across as a brag. It comes across as telling your story and sort of exposing a certain amount of shame to essentially like kill it, to kill that shame.
Yeah.
But what's your relationship to shame like today? Like after you've written the book, after you've gone through so much and survived it?
Yeah. Well, I don't try to be, you know, even at my darkest moments, I always try to, you know, walk with my head high. And I think because of this book, I can walk with it a little higher because I think this book will hopefully help people that have been through trauma or suffering from addiction, because I think everyone at least knows someone or somebody in some which way, form, or fashion who's suffering from addiction. So if I can help some people by just telling my story, it'll help me keep my head high all the time.
I think you will.
Yeah.
I think you probably already have.
Yeah.
And one of the things that you go into in this book is a lot of personal loss. The people who you've lost, losing your mother, losing your infant son. Like, when you think about who you were before those losses and who you were after those losses, what's the biggest difference between those two Lamars?
You know, it's funny that you say that because, like me losing my son is something that I still don't even know if I've even cried over. So hopefully, losing people, you hopefully you grow, and hopefully I became a better person because of those losses. Those losses, I mean, losing my son was probably the hardest thing I've ever had to deal with in life, because it's the opposite of life cycle. Our kids are supposed to bury us. And it was extreme. The hardest part, I had to go back and play. I really wanted to quit. But I'm glad I did. I'm glad I continued to play. And basketball has always been salvation for me, as it was the day my mother died. So that was like my first night staying out all night. But I got the pass because I just had the basketball and I was just in the park, just playing all day.
What is your relationship like with your children?
Well, it's getting a lot better. There was so much time missed because of my career and because of my lifestyle. I'm trying to make it up now, slowly but surely. Trying to just talk to him every day as much as possible. My son went to the prom yesterday.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm proud of that. And it's growing. I started, I have my own CBD line, and with a company called Hemp Lucid. And I was able to start my daughter her own CBD line of products.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mean, it's growing every day, and I'm just doing small little things like that to create a legacy. Yeah.
And I mean, you are creating a legacy. You're not just creating a legacy, you're doing so publicly.
Yeah, I mean, I would not. I laugh at it because, when my mother died, I just gave up with school. Like, I don't need it anyway, I'm going to NBA. So for me, writing a book, for everyone in my family, it's like a big deal. You know what I'm saying? Past just having Lamar Odom, a Lamar Odom book, because I was just so far from education. But I mean, education is the key. And it's important for me to write a book and share my story.
Have your kids read it?
I don't think my daughter's read it yet. I don't think my son, I don't even know if I want my daughter to read it.
Really? Is it just one of those things where it's like, I just want to stay dad?
Yeah, I mean, it's so raw. And she's 20 years old right now, and she's trying to be a model. But it's honest. So I guess she'll read it someday.
Maybe she will.
Yeah.
Maybe she will. One of the ways that people some people, people who don't pay attention to sports became introduced to you was through keeping up with the Kardashians and through your relationship and marriage with Khloé. And I think nobody would be surprised to hear that you guys are still friends with each other in whatever capacity, because I think it was very clear that the two of you have a bond. It's
funny, like any man that ever came into her life, like I never really even, felt threatened by them. Because when you marry someone after 30 days, you know what I'm saying? When you can like be honest with each other, that was pure. We could be honest with everyone in the world that was pure love that took over. Nobody was gonna stop us from getting married. You marry somebody after 30 days, they'd never leave your heart. I don't think so.
I don't think so. I don't think they would.
Yeah.
When you see her publicly hurting, do you reach out?
No, that hurt me a little bit. I didn't really, I didn't reach out because in that situation, that was like this kind of same situation was when I got from the hospital and she really wanted to take care of me and she was like doing everything to reach out, but because of the accident and the coma, like I didn't really know how to show empathy. If I did, there's no doubt in my mind I'll probably be with her now, but I was just like my soul was shocked. I didn't even know how I got there. You know, so I didn't even know how to show that empathy. But I mean, she's just one of the strongest persons I ever met in my life.
Do you think she'd say the same about you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
After me being through everything I've been through. Even before I went through this, she would probably say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the people who has shown you a lot of empathy and has been there for you, you've said before, is Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, that's my brother.
He's shown you a lot of support.
Well,
what has it been like to have him as a friend?
He's past a friend. He's like
Family.
Yeah. Just to be in his presence is a blessing because, you know, there's no doubt in my mind that he's special. And so when you're around people like him, if you get a little bit of that stardust on you, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Then you're lucky. And I was able just to be around him and observe him and learn from him when he probably didn't even know he was teaching. Whether it was just, you know, being at practice, being your best at practice. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when nobody is looking, being your best on the court. And that was the reason why I won 6th Man of the Year. Like, that was like a tribute to him. Because at the time I was shooting, keeping up with the Kardashians, and I won 6th Man of the Year. I don't think that'll ever be done in NBA history. But that was a tribute to him because he taught me how to be like selfish in a healthy way.
I like that.
Yeah.
Now, you're playing in the Big Three League now. How does it feel to be playing again?
Well, it's funny because I played in Dubai, and I didn't really respond. And I think just because I was just like, uh-oh, like you're out here now.
Right.
And I didn't really want to, I didn't approach the game like I usually approach the game. Like, I was kind of like scared to make a mistake. And so I'm excited about playing the Big Three because of the pace of the game. You don't have no time to think.
Right.
And I think that'll help me just let nature take its course a little bit. Yeah.
Go into full muscle control again.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the Lakers' performance this last season? There's been so much in the news about it. How are you feeling watching that?
Well, of course, the Lakers are the one team that I naturally root for. If I don't root for the Knicks, I want the Lakers to win every game. You know, they had a really good thing going on until the King got hurt. And then we all know what happens in a kingdom when a king goes down.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they lost their king and it hurt them. But I think they'll get everything together. And as long as they can, take care of business in the front office, they should be all right.
Well, how do you feel? I mean, because Magic just sort of was like, I'm out.
That was, it was really random.
It was so random.
Yeah, but anytime, I'm a sports fan at first, and the Lakers were always my team. Magic Johnson was always my favorite player. So anytime I feel a certain way when I watch the Lakers struggle. And I think they'll change it around because they know that's not really accepted in LA.
It's apparently not.
Yeah.
Because all it took was this one season and people were like, y'all better get it together.
Yeah, because, you got the season ticket holders.
Oh, yeah.
They have big money on that floor.
You see it. Now, you've done all of this work with this book. You're promoting the book publicly. You've been talking about addiction. You've been talking about shame, flaws. You've been talking about everything. But what do you want people to take away from the story of your struggle, like ultimately?
Strength. Strength. And as long as you're breathing, it's never too late to be the best you. And that's really all I want for myself, for my children, for my family.
What are you doing in your recovery right now? Like how every day, how are you?
Well, I talk to God a lot more. You know, and I rely on his strength and my family's strength a lot more. I lived selfishly for a long time. You know, because doing drugs, you hiding and you're lying a lot. So I try not to lie.
What do you wish more people knew about you now that you're not hiding as much?
That I care about them, even the ones that don't care about me.
I like that a lot. Lamar, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you coming, and I appreciate the conversation.
Thank you.
You have a good one.
You too.
And thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for watching. The conversation continues all week long on Facebook, so make sure to follow the profile page, and I'll see you right back here next time.